In my last video, I talked about Australian breakdancer Raygun as she wowed the world with her amazing dance moves such as the water sprinkler, the spaz, and who can forget the swimmer move?
You almost got away with it, didn't you? You know what else he did? He was a judge on the panel for the Oceania World Championship.
The online topic of Raygun's dance move took the internet by storm as people on TikTok made so many different memes about her, making fun of her dance moves that became super viral. In my last video, I was trying to defend her by saying that, people should really take into consideration of her mental wellness. A lot of negativity like that as someone making fun of you online can really get to you. But I'm starting to have a little change of heart as there's some rumors of possible corruption. Raygun still took it in strides and was seen dancing in public, celebrating like nothing affected her. It looked like maybe she did try her best out there, even though it was terrible dance moves. Before learning about the things that I know of today, I was like, you know what? Maybe this is how they dance in Australia. Maybe that's the standard. I didn't really think too much of it. But there seems to be some sort of rumor going around saying that her husband was the judge for like the qualifying championship in Australia to get into the Olympics, or that he was on the committee. That's exactly why I included in my previous video about the Somalian sprinter that was taking part in the track and field event last year when she clearly wasn't qualified. It was later found out that her uncle is like the head of like the sports committee in Somalia, and it's the same case with Raygun. It's very easy to see that she does not stand with the rest of the competition in terms of ability. Yes, can she do a handstand, which is impressive, that I can't do? Yes, but if you give me a year, I damn sure will be able to. I think. I'm pretty sure I can. After Raygun's performance, like I said, the internet went crazy over what they saw on national TV. But surprisingly, a lot of people had her back, especially people in the breakdancing community. A lot of breakdancers took her back and even praised her for going out there and trying her best at her old age of 36. That was a joke, guys. 36 is not old. This kind of support rubs me the wrong way because it just seems disingenuous, you know what I mean? Like, if someone does a bad job, don't just be fake about it and say, no, she did great out there, she tried her best. No, it was bad breakdancing. It's okay to say that. If you don't correct people and give them honest feedback, they're just going to continue to do the same thing over and over again. But in this case, I feel like that's not what we're talking about, because I feel like there's some other corrupt things that's going on behind the scenes that we're about to get into. It's been about, I don't know, like a week or so since her performance, and a lot of the hype is dying down. And now some breakdancers are starting to crack under pressure, and they're no longer trying to back her up. Australian breaking pioneer Leah Clark had a few words to say. To be honest, on a personal level, I was a little disappointed in some of the choices that she made. I mean, like, all the choices? I was wondering why maybe some coaches hadn't stepped in to kind of look at what she was doing. It really affected us. We've got B-girls in tears about it. Sounds a little over the top, don't you think? Maybe crying about it in tears, because that shit was hilarious. How do I go to work now and try to get her sponsorship and get her grant money for breaking programs for a sport that's just been made mockery of? I think the easiest way to stop the sport from getting made a mockery of is start calling it break dancing, instead of breaking. That's that simple. On a serious note though, Clark does raise an interesting question and gives a new perspective on the impact that Raygun had on the whole breakdancing community. When we see funny things online, we comment on it and think it's funny, and we don't really think too much of it after the fact. But a lot of times there's things that affect other people in a deeper level, kind of like this. We see Raygun doing her stupid dance moves, which is hilarious. We all can agree on that. Because we're all laughing at her performance, it reflects badly on the overall breakdancing community. So people that are taking the sport seriously, when they're trying to get money from corporations, they're not going to treat them the same way as other sports. So in essence, for the people that are trying to, make a living out of this, it's cutting into their bottom line and ultimately their livelihood. And how do we go and represent our country and other world level events when Australia's been made a fool of? This is actually affecting us on a much larger scale than just memes. I'm not going to say, go make fun of someone, but like a little bit more hesitant to defend what she did out there, because it really looked like she didn't know what she was doing. She didn't prepare for this, and she didn't deserve to be there, because it looked like someone else could have done a much better job. Like, I can literally take a kangaroo from Australia and he could have just done a better job. There was even a petition online with 45,000 signatures demanding a public apology from both the breakdancer and the Australian chief de mission, Anna Mears. See, this is why you guys are in this position in the first place. Stop making things so complicated. Chief de mission? Come on. And also for misleading the Australian public and attempting to gaslight the public and undermining the efforts of genuine athletics. Like I said earlier in the video, this petition is also alluding to the rumors that the breakdancer Raygun and her husband was on the committee or was a judge in the Australian Championships. But you see, Mama don't take no mess. Raygun responds by saying, I went out there and I had fun. I did take it very seriously. No, you didn't. You didn't take anything seriously. You can't tell me you took this seriously as you were waddling around on the floor like that. I refuse to believe that. I worked my butt off preparing for the Olympics and I truly gave it my all. Well, I hope this video doesn't get demonetized for what I'm about to say, but if let's say someone puts a heater to your head and told you you better dance like your life depended on it, are you gonna dance anything similar to Raygun? I doubt it. I'm sure this is not all she says, but this is just the excerpts that I got from the article. Those two sentences sounds like she's totally oblivious to the impact that she's made to the breakdancing community, like I was saying about, you know, people not taking them seriously, or the whole world, quite frankly, not taking them seriously. It just sounds like someone that had the privilege of just landing in the spot of the Olympics and just having fun with it, and also lying that she tried her best, because I still don't believe it. Some of those alleged she and her husband were the founders of the Australian Breaking Association, also referred to as Oz Breaking, the group responsible for developing breaking and hip-hop in the region, that her husband was part of the selection committee and later coached the national team, and that Gunn denied funding to a group of talented breakdancers to attend the qualifiers. I know it would be very satisfying to say that, of course, this makes sense because she looked like trash out there, and that this totally makes perfect sense, but apparently these rumors are not true. So they say. According to sources, ABA and the couple Raygun and her husband are totally unrelated. The judges had no affiliation with Raygun and she had no part in the process or the selection process. As a matter of fact, the judges that were at the Australian Championships weren't even Australian. They were actually flown out of the country. So they had no affiliation whatsoever. Right. We'll find out in a second. This article also claims that at the Oceanic Olympics selection event, Raygun actually came out first out of 15 women. I mean, there's so many jokes that I can make about that, because the fact that she came out on top out of 15 women that also had previous experience breakdancing really blows my mind. When talking about her husband coaching her in the Olympics, she said, "Sometimes he'll give me feedback and I'll get defensive, but I've learned to dig deep. I'll say to myself, what's really happening here? And usually it's that I'm scared that he thinks I'm shit. Well, you are. We know that. So I'll say, just tell me you think I'm whack." It makes perfect sense for a Raygun to be using an outdated word like whack. It's pretty much as outdated as those dance moves. So when I found out that these rumors weren't true and that her and her husband played no part in the selection process for her to be in the Olympics, I was like, you know what? My work here is done. I'm going to make the second video saying that the rumors aren't false. But then I found Flesh Simulator. It's the name of a YouTube channel. It wasn't my idea. But this guy brings up some very good, compelling points.
But then I found a research paper by Raygun, Dr. Rachel Gunn, from 2014, called Breaking Down Dominant Conceptualizations of Place, the Transgressive Potential in 143 Liverpool Street Familia's Engagement with the Downing Centre Courts. So I looked up 143 Liverpool Street Familia and found a member list. You almost got away with it, didn't you? Both Raygun and Sammy the Free were members. The judges of every preliminary battle that Raygun won to make it to the Oceania Championships had at least one judge from 143 LSF, including, on at least one occasion, her husband. But here is the really important bit. You know who else was a member of 143 Liverpool Street Familia? The New Zealand breakdancer Rush, aka Te Hiratanga Robert Wepiha. You know what else he did? He was a judge on the panel for the Oceania World Championship. So
in case you didn't catch the full story the first time, don't worry. He's pretty much saying that there was a judge that was participating in the Oceanic Championship that's also a part of the group of the 413 Familia. So it's very easy to see why there's going to be some conflict of interest if you're a part of a group that has one of your dancers participating in the Olympics and you're a judge for it, of course you're going to have some favoritism towards them. Mind you, they said that these judges were flown out from outside the country. That is true. He's from New Zealand, so it shows that they're not as close, but the fact that they're part of the same dancing organization, it doesn't look good. I'm not sure if the media is going to look into something like this and see if there is like a relationship between the two of them or the three of them, but I gotta give a shout out to Flesh Simulator because did a really good job with this. But let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think that there was some sort of conflict of interest that allowed Raygun to go through that Oceanic Championship and led her to, appearing on the Olympics? I definitely think it's suspicious. Bench press that subscribe button, like the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Profit out.